Hani Mahmoud, who is in Deir al-Balah in central Gaza. Hani, what can you tell us about this latest attack?
Yes, well, as of this moment, and according to civil defense member, we managed to talk to describe the horror as soon as they arrived to the bomb site, arriving to see bodies that are beyond recognition. Most of them have been torn into small pieces. They have to collect them from the ground of the bomb site and the surrounding tents, as well as those who burned to the point that we're not being able to recognize. There are at least 4 bodies now in Nasser Medical Complex, as described by one of the doctors at the emergency department. Those 4 bodies are hard to identify. They're waiting for family members to arrive and to check on all the bodies, the 20 that are being transported to Nasser Medical Complex in order to identify these 4 bodies. 2 of them are the bodies of 2 children who arrived to hospital. The bombing, as people from the area described, was so massive. It was carried on two levels, one by the drone and the other one by the fighter jet, and struck the tent site in Al-Mawasi. Evacuated them to the point they felt the ground was shaking underneath their feet in the area of the tents surrounding the bomb site were caught in fire and continued to spread, causing severe burns to many of the people who were residing inside these tents, as well as destroying many of them, particularly at this difficult time where a tent for a lot of displaced family is essential to protect them from the horror of this unfolding tragedy that keeps spreading from one to another. This is not the first time we're seeing this happening in Al-Mawasi evacuation zone. This is probably the 10th time we're seeing these repeated attacks from this very moment where people are told to evacuate in order to avoid being bombed, that we've seen them becoming the end of these unpredictable bombs over and over, sometimes within hours, within days, within weeks of their arrival. People have been killed inside this evacuation zone. It's also highlighting one important fact, that there is no safe place across the Gaza Strip, and that has increasing and growing the sense of frustration as people believe the narrative of safety and safe zone is nothing but a misleading narrative and false and also contradictory for the most part. They've tried many of the places across Gaza, and the bombs kept chasing them. The fighter jets chased them and killed many of the people, many of their relatives in the past months.
Right, thank you so much, Hani. That's Hani Mahmoud reporting from Deir al-Balah in central Gaza.
Genocide. Noun. The systematic killing of substantial numbers of people on the basis of their ethnicity, religion, political beliefs, social status, or other particularities. Genocide. Verb. To commit genocide against, to eliminate, a group of people completely.
As to the origin of the present Jews in Palestine, he states that those Jews derived from Eastern Europe, and many of the Jews that today live in the reconstituted state of Israel come from Eastern Europe, are not descendants of the Judeans or the lost tribes of Israel, but rather descendants of the Khazars. Who are they? They were a nation most people do not even know of. He writes, the so-called self-styled Jews in Eastern Europe in modern history cannot legitimately point to a single ancient ancestor who ever set even a foot on the soil of Palestine in the era of Bible history. Research also revealed that the so-called or self-styled Jews in Eastern Europe were never Semites, are not Semites now, nor can they ever be regarded as Semites at any future time by any stretch of the imagination. What secret, mysterious power has been able for countless generations to keep the origin and the history of the Khazars and the Khazar kingdom out of the history textbooks? Did you ever learn about it at school? I never learned about it. And out of classroom courses in history throughout the world, The origin and the history of Khazars and the Khazar kingdom are certainly incontestable historical facts.